Namaskar, a warm welcome to the World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Aditi Lumba bringing glimpses of major developments of the day from across the globe. First, the headlines. India, USA, Japan and Australia flag off the 24th edition of Malabar Naval Exercise. India and Germany aligned in reform of multilateral institutions for 21st century. Massive turnout in the voting for US presidential elections. 5 persons dead and 15 others injured in a terror attack in Vienna, and UN joint mission on Libya holds meeting to maintain peace in Gadames. The first phase of the 24th edition of Malabar Naval Exercise began in Visakhapatnam today. Naval forces of India, United States, Japan and Australia are taking part in the exercise. It is being conducted as non-contact exercise at sea in view of COVID-19 pandemic. The operations will showcase synergy and coordination among the friendly navies. Scheduled to be held in 2 phases, Phase 1 of Malabar 20 will witness complex and advanced naval exercises. These include surface, anti-submarine and anti-air warfare operations, cross-deck flying, seamanship evolutions and weapon firing exercises. Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla met German Federal Foreign Office Niels Annan on Monday. They held a productive exchange on shared priorities, including strengthening of multilateral structures. The Foreign Secretary arrived in Berlin from France on his second leg of the 3-nation European tour that also includes the UK. He met with Jan Hecker, the Foreign and Secretary Policy Advisor to the German Chancellor Angela Merkel. They discussed multidimensional and rapidly growing cooperation between the two democracies. In a talk with interlocutors, Foreign Secretary focused on India-Germany alignment and reform of multilateral institutions for 21st century realities, Germany's Indo-Pacific strategy and its compatibility with India's approach, and Germany as a stakeholder in India's modernization too came up for discussions. The world's largest IPO gets halted in China, with Chinese fintech giant Ant Group's dual listing getting postponed in Shanghai and HK exchanges. This would be the largest initial public offering in global finance, worth around $35 billion USD, has been delayed just 2 days ahead from its trading debut, following a meeting of the group's co-founder Jack Ma by the Chinese market regulators on Monday. The unexpected regulatory meeting came as China's top market regulators on Monday released a new set of rules for tight regulations on the country's rapidly growing micro-lending market, a move which experts say could reduce the profits of the country's fintech giants and control the funds to small businesses. The draft rules are awaiting public feedback before being considered for enactment. The voting for the 59th four-yearly U.S. presidential election is underway in the United States of America. The election to the next American president is witnessing a significant voter turnout. Nearly 100 million votes have already been cast through mail ballot and in-person early and advance voting. It's a keen contest between President Donald Trump and Democrat candidate Joe Biden. The Indian American electorate is expected to make a considerable difference in the U.S. presidential polls. Both the Republicans and Democrats have been making all-out efforts to woo the 4 million strong Indian American community ahead of the elections. Our correspondent has filed the report.
Indian Americans are the second largest immigrant group in the US after Mexicans. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, Google CEO Sundar Pichai, former PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi are some of the notable Indian Americans. Democratic Party candidate Joe Biden's campaign issued a manifesto targeting Indian American voters. US President Donald Trump's campaign recently shared an online advertisement with images of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with President Trump at Howdy Modi event. The affluence and influence of Indian Americans in political circles have grown, and these efforts are geared towards securing their votes. Suparna Saikia for World News.
This is All India Radio giving you the World News. In Austria, 5 people, including an assailant, have died, while 15 others were injured in a shooting near a synagogue in the capital Vienna. Interior Minister Karl Nehammer told reporters that 2 men and 2 women have died from their injuries in the attack late Monday. A suspect attacker carrying an assault rifle and fake suicide vest was shot and killed by police. Austrian news agency said it was an attack by Islamist terrorists. The Austrian Interior Minister said the suspect had sympathized with Islamic State. The joint 5+5 military commission led by UN's Libya mission met with representatives from the two parties to the country's conflict on Tuesday. UN's Libya mission said that the second day work of the Libyan Joint Military Committee commenced in the city of Ghadames in the presence of the Special Representative of the Secretary General for Libya, Stephanie Williams. They will discuss the implementation of the ceasefire agreement signed by both the parties on October 23rd in Geneva. Libya is beset with conflict for nearly a decade since the overthrow and killing of Muammar Gaddafi in an uprising in 2011. India's Army Chief General M.M. Naravane visited Nepal on Tuesday and met his counterpart General Purna Chandra Thapa. The visit is intended to deepen the long-standing and customary bonds of friendship between the two armies. Mr. Naravane expresses delight and optimism at the visit.
Delighted to be visiting Nepal on their kind invitation and to meet my counterpart General Purna Chandra Thapa, Chief of Army Staff of the Nepali Army. I am sure that this visit will go a long way in further strengthening the unique bonds that the two armies cherish. I am also grateful for the opportunity to be calling on the Right Honourable Prime Minister of Nepal. It is also going to be a great honour to be conferred the honorary rank of General of the Nepali Army by the Right Honourable President of Nepal. I am looking forward eagerly to this visit.
Now let's take a look at the coronavirus updates. The French government spokesman Gabriel Attal on Tuesday said that France will reimpose an evening curfew on Paris to tackle worsening COVID-19 figures. Meanwhile, in India, the Health Ministry today said that the COVID-19 recovery rate is nearly 92% and cumulative positive rate is 7.4%. It added that a declining trend has been observed for weekly new cases over the last 7 weeks. The WHO chief, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, who went into self-quarantine on Monday, said that he is well and remains asymptomatic. In a virtual media briefing, he warned countries that we are approaching a critical stage in the fight against the pandemic.
At this time, it's critically important that we all comply with health guidance. This is how we will break chains of transmission, suppress the virus, and protect health systems. Over the weekend, we saw that while many countries have brought COVID-19 under control, cases in some countries in Europe and North America continue to spike. This is another critical moment for action, another critical moment for leaders to step up, and another critical moment for people to come together for a common purpose.
Indian naval ship Airawat reached Port Sudan yesterday as a part of Mission Sagar 2. INS Airawat is carrying a consignment of 100 tons of food aid for the people of Sudan. Under Mission Sagar, Indian government is providing assistance to friendly foreign countries to overcome natural calamities and COVID-19 pandemic. As a part of the Mission Sagar 2nd, INS Airawat will deliver food aid to Sudan, South Sudan, Djibouti and Eritrea. News from the world of sports now. In football, UEFA Champions League is set to host some exciting matches later tonight. Real Madrid will take on Inter Milan and Manchester City with clash with Olympiacos among other ties on match day 3. India is celebrating the 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Before we end, let us listen to Vaishnava Janto by artists from Guyana. And with that, we end this bulletin. See you at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.